Hi again, welcome to my latest video. Well, on this one I'm going to show some things that are going to be used to upgrade my streaming rig back there. Now that PC is primarily used for streaming, but I also use it in the preliminary steps of some video creation. It just doesn't have the local storage, so I have to go to the network on it if I use it for any of that. So it's really my backup editing for now and my primary streaming rig. Well, I'm going to eventually replace that, probably about 6 months to a year from now. It'll probably be replaced with the latest version of the AMD CPUs. That's where I'm leaning anyway right now. I have this one used primarily for the streaming and as a backup editor. Right now I don't want to use it as a backup editor because it has, like I said, very little local storage to it, and I have to go to the network. So what I've done is, because the main problem I'm having with that, I isolated it finally to being my mixer. The mixer itself is an old analog one that was bought rather cheaply about 5 years ago when I first started this channel, and worked well up until about 8 or 9 months ago when I started using it not only for a stream that I did then, but also a stream that's related to Zoom, related to my other activities that I do on the side. And it just dies on you. I'll be using it. It gives no indication of it dying. It shows all the right lights and everything, but it doesn't generate an output. Initially, I thought it was the PC itself, but then I isolated it by connecting it up to another PC, and the same problem happened. So it seems to have a heating issue, maybe, whatever. Maybe in my next stream, I'll take it apart, assuming that I have the new equipment up and running, of course, and see what it looks like inside. Just this, some of the stuff that I wanted to do with this channel, right? Take stuff apart that had been broken and see what I can do with it. Anyway, let me show you what the new stuff is. I'll quickly show you all the boxes, and then I'll start opening it up for you. I'm not sure if I'll get it all working in this video or in the next video up on the bench here, but we'll see. The first thing is, of course, the main problem, the new mixer. And this time I bought a pretty high-end piece of equipment, RODECaster Duo. Now they have a RODECaster Pro, but I don't need all those microphones on it. 2 microphones will be more than enough at one time. And it has 2 other sliders that can be assigned to it, things like the USB, TRRS from a headset connected to it. It has much better controls in terms of monitoring as well. And I'll show you what I'm doing with that in a moment. So it has a lot of features to it. And like I said, it's pretty high end. It's still being sold, but it's sort of limited, which is all up to what I really need, okay? So with that, I'm also bought a new microphone. This one, I bought the Shure SM7B. A pretty high-end microphone. It, even though the Samsung that I have works okay, it doesn't have the capabilities that this thing has. So I want to have one really good one, maybe for live streaming and talking head videos or things of that nature. But, you never know. I've always had the goal of having people come in here that would want to talk about computer technology with me. So maybe I can go into that as well with a couple of good microphones. I'll start with this good one for now, and I have 2 others that I could use as well that, would work for the other guest, let's say. So that's the new microphone. I also got a new headset. The Astra A10, pretty high rated. Again, I got it on sale. I even got the microphone on sale. They dropped the price on that like, almost 25%, so can't turn that down. But this one seems to have good ratings to it, and it can be used because it has a microphone on it to actually connect through the mixer and be another source of input and output. The big thing, though, about the mixer that I really like is the fact that it can be the receiver for these Rode wireless microphones. Right now, I have the receiver on this camera here that I'm talking to. Well, this device can recognize the transmitters and become the receiver. So that's an important thing as well. I could pick up 2 more inputs that way of people talking, right? Because I have 2 transmitters to this. And then finally, because it's possible that part of the problem was that the mixer that I had was not connected through my UPS, I decided to modify my UPS a little bit. Now, I recently upgraded it to a much more powerful one, but I didn't change anything connected to it. Well, I am now going to put this extra power strip on it that will allow me to more easily control, and I'll put it right underneath the desk there, the different connections to it. So it took me a while to find what I wanted, but I finally got this thing here. It has 8 outlets, and each outlet is individually power controlled. So I can connect it up to, up to 3, 4 cameras that I plan on using in my studio at times. Obviously, I have a little switch in here that currently is not going to the UPS. And of course, the new RØDECaster will go through it, along with other things that I may have. Okay, so this gives me a lot of expandability. Now, since I got a 3D printer, as I've shown in a couple of videos previously, I went ahead and did a 3D print of this. It is an add-on to my power strip. So it'll be mounted right on top of the power switch, right over each of the switches. And it will help identify what the individual switches are for. Now, like I said, I created this on my 3D printer, so I made it flexible. The top piece here comes out. And I can handle 2 of these, each one for 4 of these switches. Since it was, like I said, I custom made it, designed it myself using the software that the 3D printer came with. And I can go ahead and change these, or eventually add another one with other connections to other switches. So I haven't done that yet because I'm still trying to organize where the different connections will be, but that will eventually happen. I didn't glue it yet to the top, so I'll do that right before I install it underneath the desk. And then I'll be able to control things like the camera I'm looking at, turn it on or off in terms of its power. And when it is on, the camera will be going through my UPS. And that's really the right way to do it. Obviously, I want to make sure the RØDECaster is going through the UPS, and other pieces of equipment that I have in here, maybe on a transitory basis, that need to be connected to the UPS as well. There is a few extra outlets in the back of the UPS that I have, but they're hard to get to with how I have it mounted underneath the desk. So this will make it a lot more handy. So now let me open some of these things up and we'll take a look at it. And then, not promising anything, but I will try to see if I can hook it up and at least get it working in a basic configuration here on the bench. If not in this video, in a follow-up video where I might actually have something else I've been looking at that'll leave as a surprise for now. Okay? Okay, since I have the package already open for the power strip, I'll show that first. I have it plugged in. It's got a heavy-duty cable here. It can handle, clearly can handle 20 amps if I wanted to, even though the outlet that I have is not that high. So that's an important part of it. As you can see, as you click on these powers, the little light comes on, showing us that power is going to the outlets, and I can turn them off individually as well. And that's really what I really wanted to be able to do, because I'll connect my cameras up to these, but I won't turn them on until I need them. Other things like the switch, obviously, that'll stay on all the time. And as I showed a moment ago, this is the actual piece that I built with my 3D printer. Pretty nifty. Those are actually raised letters of different colors and the red strips on this black background. There's 2 notches. This I had to glue together since the bed of my 3D printer is not that wide. I had to build this in 2 pieces, a left and a right. But then when I want to put these on, all I have to do is slip these into the notches that I created, and it stays in place. And then the whole thing is going to be mounted, probably glued, to the top of the power strip and lined up with the individual switches like that. So I can easily go and identify with maybe even ambient light in the room here, rather than having to go and try to search out the plugs as I've had to do recently. So that's the power strip. I'll unplug it and I'll continue working on this. In the follow-up video, if I create one, you'll see that actually all assembled, and I'll probably have the other strip with the other outlets identified. So let me now, I'm going to go backwards. Let me open up the headset first. I've had it open before, but it was a while ago, so I'm not sure. There we go. Let me take a look at this. A10 from Astro. Here's the paperwork, instructions, not much to it really. And right now, this is the cable that it came with a volume adjuster on the cable. So it can be adjusted with this little roller knob here. Okay. Then the headset itself. It's got really nice cushions to it that can be replaced if they need to be. It's got a microphone. I haven't tested it yet, so that's going to be part of the phase 2 of this video. It seemed to have all of the features that I was looking for. I'm not sure how often I'll use the microphone on it, but that's good to have. And the mixer will support that. Got a nice cushion for your head as well. Nifty little coloring pattern here. Okay, so that's the headset. Okay, next let's take a look at the microphone, the SM7B. It's got the sound protector and a separate little bag here. Not sure if I'll use that very often. This really comes in more handy going outside than inside. What is this little bag in here? Looks like it has some little stickum strips. I'll have to look and see what that's for. It's probably to make this stick on the inside to the microphone itself, right? That's probably what that is. Put that back. Take this part out. All the paperwork, Shure, wired. There we go. It's got like a little Shure keychain thing. I don't know if I'll use that or not, but interesting. It's got a Velcro holder, I guess, to wrap the cables up. Let's say Shure on it. And then the microphone itself. Take that out. Okay, so it looks like it has all the attachments. Looking at my microphone holder, the X-Tech one that I think I did a video on earlier, it should go in here just fine. And then it didn't come with cables, XLR, but I'm gonna have to buy cables for this. I have some low-cost ones in my drawer, but I want to get a higher quality one and maybe a little bit longer as well. So, got back here, it's got the controllers for it. I didn't read through the instructions yet, so I'll have to take a look at that and see exactly how I use those switches or whatever they are here in the bottom. But it is going back here to the preamp. It's supposed to have a preamp built into it, but so does the mixer as well. So I don't know how often I will use that. Let me put this back. And then finally, my new RODECaster Duo mixer. Let me open this guy up. Outline print of it, okay. What do we got in here? Oh, it's got a lot of instructions and stuff on the top here I'll have to read through. The mixer itself, let's take that out. Put it on the side for a second. What's underneath this? Oh, this whole thing rolls out. Okay. And then underneath here, what do we have? In here, it looks like the plug that goes onto the power supply. Okay. Oops. Looks like some instructions or warranty, not sure. Oh, they give you a nice USB-C cable. Not sure how long this is. I won't open it right now. I'll wait till I to do it. It's got to be it's probably at least 7 to 10 feet is my guess. I'll let you know in a little bit. And then here's the rest of the power. You got the brick, USB-C plug for the device, and then the power outlet goes over here. Okay, and that looks like that's what's in here. So those are all of the components that I got. Let me now take a closer look at the RODECaster. Take it out of this plastic bag here. Wow. It's got a nice little protector on the screen. I'll leave that on for now. I'll take it off a little bit later. It's got, like I said, 4 sliders for 4 channels that you can program with different inputs. Over here are all the inputs. As you can see, we have the 2 XLR connectors. We have some 1/4 inch. Looks like we have a right and a left, so you can do mono or stereo with that. And then here is headphones for 1/4 inch connected headphones. And then turn this over. On this side here is, so it's got one of these lock connectors in case you want to lock it to something if you're in a public area. I'm not. The connector for the power supply, and that looks like a switch. Yeah, it looks like, yeah, it's clicking as well. So that's the power switch right there. It's got a regular RJ45 connector, so it's supposed to connect up to your LAN so it can get updates and other information. It has a SD card, micro SD card input, And then it has two USB-C connectors. And I understand, I didn't read all the instructions yet, the number one is the key one that is used to actually control things from the computer, if you want to do that. So there's an application you can load and control it from the computer if you'd rather do it that way rather than this. And the second one here could be an input from another device that's providing an audio output. These are different options you can enable through the screen on each of these sliders. They give you the markers for what the normal zero input should be, right? That's very common. And then you got things down here like muting buttons, and I guess that's the power button for the microphone if needed. It's got two separate controllers for the headphones, because you can put two different headphones out for people to monitor. The number one is the key one as well, so you can monitor everything from number one. Number two can only see what's happening on whichever one of these slider sections, inputs, is set for a microphone, and being number two. And then these are like recording options, I understand. You can actually use this, well, these are arrows to control the screen, bouncing back and forth around in the screen. And you can change these buttons. I forget how many you can expand this to. I'll find out when I get into the instructions a little bit more. And you can put different sounds that can be output into your stream, or into your audio output, that is. So that's the RODECaster Duo. Nice and solid. Feels good. Really does. It's got another input over here. This is for a headset, TRRS, just like the one that I just shown. And from there, you can actually use it for input and output. You can use it to monitor, or you can use it to actually get input into one of these virtual ports. There's supposed to be 7 of these virtual ports embedded into this. So that really covers all of the components. Like I said, let me play around with a little bit, and I'll try to get it all set up. And I don't know if it'll be at the end of this video, and for that I apologize, but it's getting kind of long already. If not, I'll make a follow-on video to this where we actually go through it a lot more, because I have a learning curve on this, right? Obviously. And once I get it all understood, I'll be able to better talk about the different functions that I think are most important. Also, you'll find down in the notes, down in the bottom of the video, right? The notes area, you'll find the links to all of this stuff that I showed here. Obviously the RODECaster itself, the microphone, the headset, and even the outlet, even the switchable outlet. Like I said, that's going to be plugged into my UPS, so that all those 8 ports, if used, will provide uninterruptible power. Something like this is a pretty sophisticated device, and I've heard of people having trouble with it when I was reading the reviews, and one of the other creators, that if you lose power to this too many times, it actually could lead to a problem. You know, a mild problem would be it wipes out the configuration. A more serious one would be something that would require RMA. And I believe the other creator had RMA his unit. I hope you enjoyed this video. Until the next one, which I go over this and the other equipment in much more detail. Thanks for watching.